Doop blip blue blip blip blue. This level's brilliant. So there are 3 new moves to learn. So bottles basically teach you new moves. So obviously we skipped over them in the first area, Spiral Mountain, but now we're gonna actually have to talk to him to unlock some moves which aren't just basic moves. These are advanced moves. Lots to talk to you through. First of all, lots to talk you through. First of all, this here is a Jinjo, and he was explaining now. You saved me. Gruntilda has imprisoned 5 of us Jinjos in each world. So basically, collect all 5 and you get a jigsaw piece. That I picked up, that weird little grey skull, is a Mumbo token. No, because Jinjo was talking, he's not going to explain himself. So I'll wait for that. These are notes. I'm a note, 1 of 100 in each world. Collect us to open the note doors. So, to progress through Gruntilda's lair, which is the overall hub world, you know, we're in Gruntilda's little castle area. That's called Gruntilda's lair. To actually progress through Gruntilda's lair, we have to collect a kind of a prerequisite sort of. We have to have a certain amount of notes to get through. Also, by the way, you in this game, unlike other games, like DK64 doesn't, but this game does have underwater. You can only be underwater for a certain amount of time. So if I start and I press pause, as you can see, we've got 1 Mumbo token down there. That's grey skulls. When I find another one, I'll get it to explain what it does. But if you go to view totals, as you can see, that's the amount of collectibles there are. So there are 100 notes in each world, 10 jigsaw pieces, and there are 2 more of those hollow honeycomb pieces. And again, in the whole game, I don't know if it'll have... See, it doesn't have the total, but... Yeah, you have to collect basically 100 notes in each world. 10 jigsaw pieces. And 2 honeycomb pieces. Actually, I'm going to go this way first. So, this is Mumbo's Mountain. You have to find out who Mumbo is first, actually, because I said Mumbo token. Also, another collectible here is blue eggs, and we'll use them shortly. Where the eggs, Kazooie can learn to use us once we find bottles. As ammo, but bottles will help us actually learn what to do with the eggs. And again, another thing as well, of course, we know what jigsaw pieces do. They're the main collectible, but we also need them to progress through the witch's lair. Hence, the need to fill in the puzzle pieces. Actually, that's one thing as well. Bottles were talking about, but I will explain that in a second. Once you talk to Bottles and do our first move, because it's do something I want to touch upon. But a talent trot. This is the main move in the game, and this is the first one I want to lock. First of all, you can tackle steep slopes. Hold Z and press the left C button, and you have to keep Z held whilst you're moving. But this is probably my favourite move. Definitely the one we use the most, because actually you move a little bit quicker with it. So like when I want to progress through the lair further, or just through levels further, I use this. Anyway, Mumbo token. Meet Mumbo's token, used for Mumbo magic. So basically, there's a guy called Mumbo. This is his mountain. But like in some worlds, Mumbo, his full name's Mumbo Jumbo. He appears in a few worlds, and his like role is to I want to go down by the way, click some of these notes up here, and also get this yellow Jinjo. So already we've got 4 of the Jinjos. But yeah, Mumbo Jumbo, what he does is we have to collect this, another prerequisite amount of Mumbo tokens, and when we reach the number required, he can perform magic, which transforms us into creatures to allow us to traverse through certain areas or to access certain areas. But basically we can't do it as Banjo or Kazooie. Banjo and Kazooie, sorry. Anyway, there's a lot of these notes are on these slopes here. Basically this world is this is like the perfect first world for me, because there is a little bit of challenge, but it's kind of like introduce you to all the sort of obstacles you have to encounter in this game. So like slopes, and also it allows you to pretty much learn the new moves that you access in this game. Oh, sorry, quick drink of water because I've been kind of non-stop talking. But maybe that kind of gives you an idea about how excited I am about doing this game. So anyway, I said I would talk about what Mumbo was kind of referencing a little bit when he gave us the first move. I'll quickly tell you, this second move here is like a ground pound. Press A and Z, you know the ground pound. But in so there's a difference between this version and the Xbox Live version, the Xbox 360 version I was playing in the first Let's Play. Now, this game works on like a high score sort of thing. Now, if I were to die at all in one of these levels, whatever notes, the amount of notes I had, so if I died now in 80 notes, I would have to recollect all 80 of those notes before collecting the rest of it. Because in the Xbox version, they made it a little bit easier. So that's what I mean by having a high score. Once you die, 80 notes is your high score, but then you have to go and collect all those notes again. Whereas in the Xbox version, once you died, it wasn't that catastrophic. In the sense that once you died, you would still have 80 notes. 80 notes would be like a saved sort of score. But, oh shit. Oh, stop being stupid. There we go. But, the fact that you die, but the fact that if you die in this game, you have to recollect all your notes, like in like a high score sort of basis. Also, there's a 5th Jinjo, which means I get a jiggy for it. Getting jiggy with it. Yeah, that reference has got to come sometime soon. You just knew it. But, yeah, so that's the challenge of this game. It's a bit more challenging in the Xbox version in that regards. Therefore, I'm kind of doing a bit of a harder version of the game. But it's fine, I can handle it. Also, there's a jiggy up here in this eye. So this is Mumbo's hut. However, I'm not going to enter it just yet because we've only got 3 Mumbo tokens and we need 5. There is actually one in here. Now, this is why we need to enter Mumbo's hut. So this is another thing I find quite cool about this game, is the fact that it's quite clever in the sense that it's like, oh, well, you can enter here, but actually, you need, because those slopes, there are some slopes which are actually too steep for even Kazooie in this challenge trot mode. And those platforms you use to climb that little, that's a termite hill. Those platforms used to climb it are even too steep for Banjo-Kazooie. So we need to transform into another creature to allow us to actually climb up, to ascend that termite hill. So anyway, this is another area. This is Conga. You got half of it. There we go. This is Conga. He's like a moody ape. Damn it. I've got my sound muted, so I can't tell when he throws it. There we go. I should hit it. So basically, I'll get him to throw oranges at these switches to unearth a jiggy. Yeah, we climb this tree to get this orange up here, and we can go over here to feed this chimp. He doesn't want a banana, he wants an orange. I always love it. I always find it so weird how the oranges are like, yum, oranges are nice. Please cannibalize us. Well, not cannibalize us, but, you know, consume us. We really want to be eaten. You weird citric bastards. Anyway. So, 7th Jiggy. We're kind of flying through. To be fair, I can autopilot a lot of this game. But the first world, it's just the first world, so it's pretty short. Right, so this is the 3rd and final molehill for this level. And Kazooie and Bottles will talk us through how to use the ancient ways of the egg. So hold Z, press top C to shoot an egg out your mouth. And Kazooie's like, yes, sounds cool. So it's like a weapon. Anything else? Sure. Press the bomb C button and you can fart them out. And appropriate, again, because it's rareware, they just so happen to provide us with a fart noise every time we do unleash one from behind, so to say. So yeah, that's all the moves. So Z and up C fires 1 4 like that. Z and down C, as you can see, doesn't just provide us with a fart sound, but also shits one out for you. But the thing is, once you shit out an egg, as you can see, you can go back and collect it. Whereas if you fire it in front of you, you can't go back and collect it. Also, here's a 5th and final Mumbo token. And up here, this is another thing as well. It's not an official collectible on the menu, but there is one of these in each world. This is the witch switch. And what this does is activates a Jiggy or a means to collecting a Jiggy. Or it basically allows us to either collect a Jiggy or it helps unlock the path or unearth a secret that allows us to access a Jiggy in Gruntilda's lair. Because if you go to the view total screen, Gruntilda's lair, being an overworld, does have 10 Jiggies. And apart from that first one that we collected in the first world, the rest of the Jiggies are actually activated via witch switches. So we actually have to go and find a witch switch in each of the levels to get the rest of the Jiggies in the game. Right, so now Conga, he's all pissed off and he's like, "Oh, don't look at me in my sports bra." Yeah, you have to go and fight him by throwing eggs at him. Firing eggs at him. Like a coward, from a distance. "Oh, baby Conga, me give price to bear. Oh my god, now I can't invest in more sportswear." I love that. He's just there like, dude, I'm such a built ape that I need to wear sports bras to conceal my boobies. It's like, what a guy. There is a little bit of frame rate issues, maybe because I'm just recording and also the fact that it's 64 and all sorts. And this TV isn't brilliant for that. Right, but that won't pick up on, that won't come on the record anyway. It's on the TV. Okay, so this is Juju, Mumbo's totem pole, and I totally missed by the way. You have to fire eggs in his mouth. What? The flying blue stones of jizz. Okay, seriously, that's gay. That's 2 that's gone in his mouth. I mean, that second one definitely didn't. There we go. However, there is a bloody trick that this game does, which is really annoying. But again, I just call it typical rareware. Hit 3 of these. However, go on top of the 4th to collect this honeycomb piece, because you can't collect it if you get rid of this last one. You're unable to actually reach that honeycomb piece, which again I just call that a typical rareware move. They do that. They're very tricky with what they do in their games. Anyway, this is Mumbo's hut. There's Mumbo Jumbo. He is asleep. We have to wake him up. So he's a shaman. Best shaman in all game. Best shaman. Can help the Banjo and the filthy feathered one. Mumbo token hit by witch. So basically he's just explaining that he can use his magic to transform you into things. You have to have a certain amount of tokens, which are shown on a little sign over there. And once you have that amount, you can Mumbo can use magic. Also, in the little, I guess, I wouldn't really call them rafters, but there is like this, there's this little bridge up in the top, like kind of surrounding his ceiling, which usually has collectibles on. So yeah, I always like to check for that, because there are some collectibles there which are like required. Eggs aren't really required for 100%, but in later worlds where we have later renditions of Mumbo's hut, or later versions, I guess rendition probably isn't the right word, but when we have come across other versions of Mumbo's hut in other levels, there are some where we actually will have to climb on that little. I guess it was a dodecanal bridge, wasn't it? It was 12 because I picked up 12 eggs. It had 12 sides, so yeah, it was a dodecanal bridge. Anyway, so we're now turned into a termite. I didn't give it away, but you could have deduced from what I said earlier that we would turn into a termite, because obviously this is a termite's hut. Termite hill, sorry. But yeah, we can actually climb up to the top of this termite hill now. And also there's the 100th note. Also, all the termites in here are arseholes. Like, hey, give me that bloody, like, ha, you can't wear shorts. Give me that backpack, or else. To be fair, I don't eat eggs, so I'm not that fussed. And up we go to the hole at the top. Actually, already we've quite for lives. And there's the 10th and final Jiggy. Oh, it's a shame because normally if you're Banjo, he does like a little sort of dance, like a victory dance. But when you're either underwater or another creature, you don't get to see the dance. So as you can see, we've got everything. All we're missing now is one honeycomb piece. But thankfully, I know where it is, and fortunately, we're actually pretty much directly above where it is, because this is another slope which Kazooie is unable to traverse just due to its steep nature, excessively steep nature. So yeah, using being the termite allows us to actually access that. But that's everything in Mumbo's Mountain, so we can skedaddle. We can go. Grunty's magic stops you taking the notes off the world, but the 100 you just collected counts as your best note score. Yeah, so as you can see, that's no way of saying, like, once you go back in, you have to recollect your notes. Also, to climb, so the Jiggy appeared there, again, you have to be a termite to collect that Jiggy. And also, what Grunty said there about baddies roaming once more, these termites weren't actually outside the level when before we entered it, but once you enter it, some of the main enemies from that level will be in a little hub outside. So, obviously, Mumbo's magic isn't that omnipotent, like it's not all powerful. It's restricted to certain areas, so obviously it's restricted to a level, but you can't be the termite for the whole game. Not that that's beneficial in the slightest. There is no benefit to being a termite for the rest of the game.